Hello everyone and welcome to the 43rd weekly update. So most important update of the week and of quite some time, and probably won't be surpassed for quite some time either, is a certain thing arrived. A certain item of artistic importance in my upcoming musical activities. We haven't got an amp for it yet, so you can't actually make electric noises with it. But the strings on their own make a pretty cool noise anyway, which you'll hear now. As the kids say. In fact, as the kids say, that was effing epic. That was effing dope. And that's what the kids say. I'm not one of them, I'm above that, but that is what the kids would say if they saw it. They'd say that is effing dope, bruv. Many times throughout my life have been referred to as effing dope. That is what people call me. That is my nickname in school. Effing dope. They say, oh, that's not Nathan, that's the really effing dope kid. Anyway, there's that. So that's that. Not much else has happened over the previous weeks. Previous week, not much. Just that, really, and nothing else. I'll tell you that later. So what we're doing the following week, well, hopefully, I don't know if this is true, but hopefully, possibly, maybe, I don't know, but maybe, the amp for the guitar will hopefully arrive, maybe, possibly, and if it does, then I'll actually start maybe recording with it. Load of phlegm then, yum. But I don't really know much else about what we'll be doing, so we'll find out, won't we? Oh, I also did my first gaming video in a month. Now that's up on the gaming channel, the second channel. So that's that. What's next? Weekly update plans, mate. Political commentary. Here we go. Studio mode, display, transition. Let's go over to the BBC News. Right. Blah blah blah. Blah blah blah. Young climate activists, we're losing our hope in you. Shush. Striking pictures from around the world this week. Okay, what? I mean, I have to see what this is about. Not interested. What is this? What is it? Okay. Thanks for not actually answering. That's really nice. Why I reunited dead cats with their owners. What? Maybe later. A woman whose cat was dumped in a landfill without her knowledge. How does that happen? Stupid video playing. How does that happen? Right then. What is this? Oh, for God's sake, go away. So as Facebook exec denies putting profits before safety. Ha! Why Pokemon Go makers are working with Nintendo again? Maybe because Pokemon Go belongs to Nintendo and so they have to? It's not like they can just go off and make Pokemon Go on their own without Nintendo's permission, is it? I would do that, to be honest. But I don't care about the law. I can only assume that they do. Anyway, that's the website now, the YouTube channel. Let's see. Blur, blur, blur. Arnold Schwarzenegger called leaders liars over climate change. What's it people saying about? I'm gonna like it because it's Arnold and everything was Arnold. It was Arnold is amazing. Oh, things. I like that too. Watch there. Later. Watch later. God. What are people saying about it? Right. Why does the Pope give a crap about climate change? What relevance does he have? Charges may be filed in Alec Baldwin's shooting case. Well, as long as they're not filed against him, because he didn't do anything. He was given a gun which, for all he knew, wasn't real. So, it's fairly obvious to me that he didn't do anything wrong. Who is Julian Assange and why does the US want to extradite him? He's a hero, and the US wants to extradite him because they are all corrupt morons. Really, quite simple. Edinburgh. See, this is the kind of people who need to be talking about climate change. David Attenborough, he has the right to talk about climate change, not the Pope or Arnold Schwarzenegger. As much as I love Arnold, Arnold's great, but what does he know about climate change? What does the Pope know about climate change? Nothing. David Attenborough, he's all about nature and everything. I'll listen to him when it comes to it. Can Lego help save Singapore's coral reefs? I doubt it. The transplant lungs transported via drone in world's first. I would not want to be the patient who needed to receive those lungs. I'll tell you that much. Let's see, is that again? Pretty sure I already looked at these. Yeah. So, well, that's that. What's next? Films I've so, films I've watched. And I'm doing a little thing now where I'm gonna be giving them a rating. I'm gonna give all the films and albums that I listen to a rating out of 10. And so, first one is The Fog, from 1980. It's John Carpenter. Now this is, I can only assume, heavily inspired by, Italian horror. I definitely feel a lot of, like, Lucio Fulci in this film. That's all I can say about it, really. It's just I'd say, rating, I'd say maybe, I would say 10 out of 10. It's good. I don't know what else to say about it. 10 out of 10 for The Fog. Great film. Does everything it set out to do. Scary. Genuinely, one of the few Western horror films which has genuinely creeped me out. Majority of Western horror films, I enjoy them, but they don't actually freak me out. Italian films, I've got it down, like The Beyond, that scene where that woman is walking through the flooded cellar. That freaks me out. There's a scene in the Alien ripoff, Alien 2 on Earth, where there's just this really long panning shot across this guy's sort of corpse, or woman's corpse, it's just a simple panning shot, but you know something's going to explode, and so it's creepy. Another Alien ripoff, Contamination, which I actually have on DVD. In this film, there's a scene where a woman is trapped in a bathroom with one of the eggs, the alien eggs, which don't hatch facehuggers like in Alien, they just explode, which, although it makes for a very gory and very fun film, doesn't actually make any sense at all, because how would a species be able to reproduce if their eggs just explode? And then the people who get hit with their stuff just explode. Unless it's in like a really crowded area where the egg will explode and then all the people around it will explode and then all the people around those people will explode. I don't know, but it doesn't really seem like a real way to transmit your species. But whatever, it's a fun film, and the scene where the woman is trapped in the bathroom with one of these eggs which is about to explode is genuinely suspenseful. For a rip-off of Alien, that is, which is of course a very suspenseful film. Another one of the few Western films which actually freaks me out a little bit. It doesn't freak me out as much because I can't remember the very first time I watched it, but I don't think it ever actually really freaked me out that much. It's very suspenseful, yeah, but it doesn't really get me that much. But Italian films, they've got it down. They can really, and because The Fog was obviously very inspired by Italian films, it has that, and so therefore it's one of the few Western films which really freaks me out. So 10 out of 10 for The Fog. Next film, and the only second film I watched is, well, technically I also watched Beverly Hills Cop and Groundhog Day, but I watched them downstairs on TV while waiting for the electric guitar to arrive, and so I haven't got it on here, because I was gonna say I probably just want to do films which I'm watching for the first time here, but that probably isn't true. But it's my rules. I will anyway. As I was saying, a very different film to The Fog. I think it's about as far away you can get. Actually, is the recent. Well, I say recent. It was over a year ago now, but the Red Dwarf movie that came out, The Promised Land, brilliant. Red Dwarf is one of those shows. It's one of the few shows which is just as funny as it was when it started. You know, obviously the humor has changed because it started in 1988, and so naturally it's going to change a lot. So it's not the same show. It's quite clear, like, you couldn't show someone an episode from the first series and then show someone a clip from this and have them think that they take place an episode apart. That's obviously not going to happen. But it's still just as funny, and it's always been just as funny as it was when it started, and I think it's one of the few shows which can really do that. But yeah, it is about as far away as you can get from The Fog, but it was really good. I didn't know what to expect from it, because the one other thing that they tried to do, which is Back to Earth, which is in 2009, that was the revival, I guess. I haven't seen it, so I'm not going to judge it, but I have heard that one wasn't very good. I've seen a review of it, and that says it's not particularly good. So I don't know whether to, because a lot of people say things aren't good and they're completely wrong, so I don't know. So I'm not going to judge that, but because they'd said that, I didn't know whether this was going to be any good or not. But no, this was really good. I don't know why. It just is. They just haven't lost anything. They're just as good as they've always been. So both those films, incredibly good. Both, well, The Fog, 10 out of 10. Red Dwarf, Promised Land, and I don't know. It's not 10 out of 10 because it's not the funniest bit of Red Dwarf ever. I'd give it a 7.5 out of 10. It's very good, but it's not the best of Red Dwarf. Now we'll go into the albums that I've listened to. I've listened to a lot of albums. Over half of them are The Caretaker. I was hoping to get through the entirety of Everywhere at the End of Time, but then I got to stage 4, which is really boring. And so I only listened to the first track. Because why did it have to be stage 4, which is the first one that's over an hour long? The first 3 are not only pleasant to listen to, at least in my opinion, but actually, like, they're only 45 minutes, and so they're you know, they get everything they need to get done straight away. I know it's meant to be unpleasant, but I know it's probably meant to be boring in a lot of the time, but that's why I put G1 complete, because G1 is the first song. It's not called G1, that's just the first bit. Anyway, but anyway, we'll get to that. First album I listened to, continuing the trend of Brian Eno that I was listening to all last week. Apollo, Atmospheres and Soundtracks from 1983. This one was really good. It's not my favourite Brian Eno album. It's It's probably the second best ambient album that I've listened to from him. I'd say all of his albums, rating all of them, it's probably Here Come the Warm Jets first, then Ambient 1, then this, then Ambient 2, then Ambient 4, and then Ambient 3. That's it. I still like Ambient 3. I'm not gonna go Ambient 3. It's good. It's probably the worst one of the ambient. It's probably the least ambient of the ambient albums. Because it's got this really energetic. It's not drumming, but it's a kind of. Is it racist to say a tribal instrument if that's what it is? I I don't know, a thing, a plinky plonky, clicky clacky instrument thing. And it's very energetic, because I don't even know if it really counts as ambient. Anyway, that's that. I'd give this album from an enjoyable standpoint, a 7 out of 10. Very good. Because it's enjoyable. It's not enjoyable in the nice foot tappy way. It's it's a nice relaxing thing. So I give it a 7 out of 10 for that. Artistically, I'd give it a 10 out of 10. It does everything it's set out to do. And there. Next album is one of my new favourite albums. It's so good. I don't know how I had never heard of it before. I watched a video which basically went through every single Paul McCartney album, ranking them all. I didn't take any notice of the ranking. I just took it for recommendations of some of the best McCartney. And this one, McCartney 2 from 1980, his second solo album, despite the fact that it's over 20 years into his career. It's only his second solo album. Hence the name McCartney 2. But this is pretty much... Well, I mean, it's not pretty much, it is. It's a new wave album, basically. And for those of you who know, new wave, I don't really consider new wave a genre that much, because it's so sort of fluid as a genre. I mean, you have the Talking Heads that are new wave, and then you have like Oingo Boingo, which are also new wave, but they're completely separate sounds. But this, especially the first track on this, Coming Up, is, it just sounds like a Talking Heads song, but it's Paul. And that's just great. So this is... I've only listened to one other Paul McCartney album, and that's or at least separate from the Beatles. I've listened to a lot of Beatles albums, but it's and the other one is Ram that I've listened to. And a lot of people, some people prefer Ram, some people prefer this. I prefer this. They're both. Ram is still brilliant. Ram is a brilliant album. I'd give Ram a I'm not rating Ram here, but I might as well now that I've just mentioned it. I'd give Ram like a 9 out of 10, or an 8.5 out of 10. No, 9. I'll give it a 9. But it has got a couple of tracks which are lesser in enjoyment. This, 10 out of 10. Genuinely, every single song. A lot of people hate this album. And this is the thing, because a lot of people also have a problem with Paul when he's in the Beatles. And I think their problem is they just don't like fun. Paul's songs were always fun. He always has the fun songs. And the same with this. It's a really fun album. And people just don't seem to like fun. People want artistic brilliance. And you're not going to get artistic brilliance all the time. Sometimes people want to have fun. And Paul, he's an artist who knows how to have fun. And that's why he's so great. So 10 out of 10. One of my top albums of all time. Even on first listen. I've only listened to it once. But it's genuinely one of my favourite albums of all time. It's so good. Then we get into the Caretaker. I've already kind of talked about it a bit, but I'll talk about it a bit more. I'm just going to go through and rank these, because they're very similar. Stage 1, I find not as boring as Stage 4, because it's actually music. But Stage 1 and 2, they're pretty much, obviously the distortion on each of the songs increases as the albums go by. But with 1 and 2, it just feels that there isn't enough distortion to balance out the music, and so it just sounds that you're listening to like a 30s music compilation, and it's kind of, for me, the best of music is the late 50s to the early 90s. That's when the best of music was released, and 20s and 30s stuff is just kind of meh. There's occasional stuff which is alright, but that is meh. With Stage 3, let's give Stage 1 and 2 a 5 out of 10 each. Stage 3, I think it has just enough distortion to make it more interesting and therefore more enjoyable, at least to me, because I like experimental stuff, and it's when the distortion just overtakes the music, but the music is still there. And so I'd say Stage 3 is probably a 7 out of 10. It's pretty good. Stage 4, 2 out of 10. And I've only listened to the first track, so that's not good. But yeah, it's just nah. Then the final album, listened to just yesterday. I think. I honestly can't remember. No, yeah, it was yesterday. Yeah, was Billy Joel, The Stranger. It's my first. I've kind of grown up with Billy Joel's music, but not with any of his actual albums. We have a best of, and that's the only time I've actually listened to any of his stuff is on that. And obviously I've listened to it some recommended on YouTube and stuff, and I listened to it because I know him. But I haven't actually listened to a Billy Joel album, so this is the first time listening to one of his original albums. I'd already heard most of the songs off it, because they're all on the best of album, which is like a triple album or something. It's an enormous album, huge. You get in a box this big. No, I mean in song storage capacity. And so I'd already heard most of them, but it's better listening to it in the proper album, obviously, because it's not all out of order and shifted around like it is in the best of album. But yeah, brilliant album. I'd give this one a 10 out of 10 as well. So we got 2 10 out of 10s, McCartney 2 and The Stranger. We got 2 7 out of 10s. I think no, did I give it a 7 stage 3? Yes, we got 2 7 out of 10. No, Apollo was 7.5 out of 10, wasn't it? Was it? Was it 7.5? Well, I'll change it back to a 7 now. Whatever it was before, I'm saying it's a 7 now. Apollo is a 7. Stage 3 of Everywhere at the End of the Time is a 7. Stage 1 and 2 of Everywhere at the End of the Time are 5 out of 10s. And Stage 4 is a 2 out of 10. It's not very good. It does what it's meant to do artistically. It's not meant to be pleasant, but I am rating it on the pleasantness. So naturally, it's going to go lower. That's not going to be an insult to him because it wasn't intended to be pleasant to listen to. It's intended to be sad. But I don't really get. Music doesn't make me sad, so it's just boring. So 2 out of 10. But that won't be an insult to him because that was the intention. That's all the albums I've listened to. I like rating stuff. This is the first time I've done a rating thing, but I like rating stuff. I'm looking forward to rating more things. So that's that. What's next? Answering questions. No one's here to ask any questions, so I guess I'll just end it. This has been I've enjoyed this. I've enjoyed it. This is a strange thing. I usually don't look too forward. Like whenever it's I wake up on a Saturday and I think, oh God, I've got to do a weekly update today. But when I'm actually doing them, they fly by and I enjoy them. So it's a weird thing because it feels like it's a thing. I don't like routine. Everyone who knows me knows I don't like routine. That's why my upload schedule is so non-existent. I just upload whenever I want to. And so having a thing that I have to do on a specific time on a specific day every week is a bit like I don't like it. But then when I actually do it, I'm fine. So strange. I guess it is really me just doing what I normally do, but just on camera. I mean, I always walk around talking to myself, complaining about things. And so I suppose really I'm just doing what I do all week, but just in front of a camera. I'd probably be doing it anywhere, even if it wasn't the camera. So I might as well. So maybe I should do like just a constant live stream of my entire life, except going to the toilet and stuff, because I don't want you guys to see that, and I can't speak English, but you know what I mean. Anyways, that's all for this time, guys. I hope you guys have enjoyed the live stream. If you have, God, my throat's so dry. Wait a minute. I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you have, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next thing that I do. Goodbye.